Okay, so that's what we're left with. Now that the fender is off, there goes that bad boy right there. So you got a wheel, the hub, and the fender. Okay, so my next step would be to remove the axle. Of course, I'm gonna have to unhook that hydraulic line right there and unbolt here, put my jack in between there, pry this frame out, this bar out from the frame of the tractor, unbolt these bolts, all these bolts here, after I actually hook my hoist up to the axle. But the reason for prying this bar away from the frame of the tractor is to have more working room or space for when I'm actually removing the axle from the tractor itself. And you're gonna see when I'm doing that. I'm gonna have to unbolt this as well, if that's, I think. No, I don't think I have to unbolt that. I don't think I have to unbolt that. But whatever I'll do, you'll see, and I'll explain as I, step by step as I go, as plainly or clearly as I can. Okay? All right, so now I got my hoist all chained up, hooked up to the axle. I got some tension on it. So that ain't gonna go nowhere. I've also put my jack, my scissor jack between the frame and this bar right there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove this line. This is the hydraulic line. I already got it loose. So I'm going to screw it off. Let me see. I think I got it loose. Yeah. I'm going to screw it off, remove it, get it out of the way, and start unbolting the axle. And remove the axle. Okay, it's kind of hard doing this with one hand while recording. So anyway, I'm going to take this off. Let me get in it. I'm going to take it off, remove it out of the way. It's pretty flexible. It's copper. So I'm going to get it out of the way. Pair of pliers. Get it out of the way and start working on unbolting the axle off the frame. Okay, there we go. See this line right here. So I ain't gonna bend it too far. Move it out of the way right there. That little nipple here. Okay. So my next feat now is to move these bolts all around. Then I'm gonna brace this bar out with my scissor jack. And I should have enough room to move the axle away from the frame of the tractor and maneuver it around this bar. Okay, so I have used my scissor jack and I have braced this bar away from the frame. So now there's a space right here on both those bolts that was holding the axle onto the frame. Took those bolts off, and now I'm prying and yanking the axle away from the frame, from the tractor. And as you can see, I got the space here. So I just need to brace this out a little bit more with my scissor jack, and this should be able to come right out. There's an axle shaft. That's the axle shaft right here. Right there. That goes into the housing of the tractor, so I got a bell housing. So I gotta, maneuver it out and at the same time not damage the splines. So let me get at it. Finally got it off. So the axle housing is off the tractor, off the frame of the tractor. This here is the retainer right here. Got pistons in it. So unfortunately, my scissor jack gave out on me, it broke. So I had to get creative because I didn't have another scissor jack. So I had to use a long pry bar, a wedge, which is just a piece of block brick, and my sledgehammer helped a bit. It was enough to pry the bar away from the frame of the tractor so I could maneuver this little hump right here. I could maneuver it past right here, and it just slipped right out. So this is it right here. So the axle is out. This is what it looks like. So now what I'm gonna do is, not today, I'm tired. A one-man job, man. Tractor parts is not like car parts. They are 10 times heavier. Bear that in mind, okay? So my next step would be to tear down the axle. Take all the inners out and check the brake, check the O-rings on the retainer right here. Let's go with this retainer. Sorry guys. So the retainer right there, if I'm not mistaken from what my manual says, these are pistons, and around the pistons on the inside there are O-rings. And according to what the manual say, if the axle develop a leak, it is normally the O-rings that went bad. So I'm gonna have to get these pistons out, and I'll show you how I do that later on. Also, this right here, wow, this right here is a seal. That's what we call it, a seal, but it's gone bad. So I'm going to replace it, put a brand new one in. It should actually have 2 seals. This is one right here. This is bad too, so it came out. So there's one after the retainer and before the retainer. So I think that's what actually prevents it from leaking. So the one seal would go right up against the frame like so. So we could, let me see. Bear with me, guys. I'm one-handed. Yeah, so the brand new seal would go up against the tractor like so. Then the retainer would go on to the seal and the tractor. Then another seal just like this would go on the face of the retainer, and then it will butt up back onto the axle housing. So it actually has 2 seals, one before and one after the retainer. So I think that's what's happening. I think the seal is actually bad. This is like a metal seal, and it's so flimsy and thin, and it has, I don't think, yeah, this is worn. I think these are actually from the manufacturer, and this tractor is Ford Commander 6000. Wow, it's like 57, 58 years old. So yeah, they're worn. So I'm definitely gonna change those. So that's it for now, guys. Got the axle off. Now to repair the axle. Well, not the axle, but I'm gonna pull the inners out and see what needs to be repaired. I hope, you know, there's nothing too funky going on in there. I'm gonna check the brake disc. There's a wet brake in there. I'm gonna check to see how worn that is. I'm also gonna check to see, there's a rotor in there too that the brake pushes up against. I'm gonna see if that's coiled up. If it's coiled up, I'm gonna smooth that out. I hope the brake is not too bad, because I think the brake for these tractors, they are not in existence anymore, even though you can actually repair them, the original ones. So yeah, in another video we'll take a look at that. Thanks for watching, guys.